Putting an underquilt. When you're laying in the hammock, as you can see, you're in full contact with the body. What's happening is your body heat, and you're the source of all the heat. No blanket or quilt generates any heat. You're making the heat. Go ahead and lay down. You're the guinea pig. Lay down. This heat is directly being transferred through the material, and you're heating the air on the other side of the hammock. So anything between you and the hammock is being crushed. You're losing that insulation. I want to put a layer on the outside to capture that heat. But this is not a flat bed. Notice how a hammock comes up to a point on either end? Heat flows uphill. So as that warm air is generated right here, it will naturally flow up toward the point. So I've got to have something that's going to be relatively tight up here at the top, not just hanging around it, to capture that air. Otherwise the heat's just going to flow away from you. I'm losing BTU. Okay, now get out and I'll put on an underquilt. A cheap poor man's way of putting an underquilt on is using a poncho liner, sometimes called a woobie. Now, I only need this extra warmth really from the top of my head to about in the middle of my thigh. My feet don't matter, but I need this area right here to keep my core temperature solid. So, depending on how wide you are, you can either use the poncho liner the sideways, or you may have to do it double in half the lengthways. We're going to do it the sideways right now. If you notice, it's got tie-outs on the corners and tie-outs in the middle. What we're going to do here is we're going to take that, fold it in half, come underneath the hammock. And this hammock has a rope right here. I'm going to bring both cords up through that. And I'm going to just go around, bring them back to the top, and do a simple bow knot. Something I can get out easily. Now, I grab the edges. Make sure I got the right edge here. There's the corner. Oh, yeah. Come all the way down here. Now I've got that center tie out again, and my two end tie outs. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these two sides, do a simple half hitch over it, and I'm going to bring them over the top and take the center tie out and loosely tie it about, 2 or 3 inches from the end, like this. Now, what this has done is created the pocket. You see how it wants to slide up? I just want to take the cord that comes from the bottom and just make a loose hook to it. Not flood tight, but just a little loose hook. This is going to become important in a minute. Now, I want it loose. I want it bagging up when I get in this and it sags down, I'm in this. And not it flood tight and I can't lay down. But at the same time, I don't want it hanging so far down. So you may have to adjust for length or width or etc. Okay? Now, guinea pig, now lay down. Now notice how it's cupping around the body. This loose tab, I simply take it, and if I like to sleep with my head to the right, fold it underneath, pull it out up here on the right. Now the full length has 2 layers of this on it. Now you recently saw Dave Canterbury do a video where he was talking about taking a blanket and coming from underneath the whole thing like this, and taking one end and tucking under, and then taking the other end and throwing it over, and this would be the way it works. Do we see a problem? The end of the hammock is wide open. Remember that heat flowing uphill? There's nothing here capturing the heat. So this doesn't work. If, however, you want to use another one of these woobies as the blanket, here's what you do. Again, now you're going to take it lengthways. You're going to fold it in half. Take the middle, Take all 3 ends, bring them together like this, and you're going to tie this end into a knot. Just roll the thing underneath and tie it tight. This is going to make a pocket. If you've got a small sleeping bag, what you want to do is take this sleeping bag and turn it upside down. Stick your feet in the hole and put your, what would be the back of the thing over you. Now, I've created that pocket. You're going to pull it up on you, stick it through here, take your toe and hook it, and stick your feet in it. Now you pull this up on you and you tuck it down inside the hammock on either side of you. Now you're completely covered. Your vitals and all your warm areas are insulated and trapping heat. Your feet are wrapped up in 2 layers, sometimes more, trapping the heat this way. If you put a good heat reflector through your back and a small heat reflector in the front, you get even more of a warmth. Now during the winter, I drop mine down right down on the ground, so I'm just barely floating. And I'm going to pack pine straw underneath the full length. I mean, I want it bushy underneath me. It does 2 things. It traps the air, and it gives me a ready source of emergency fire starter, because I'm going to build my fire right there with a heat reflector. My tarp is going to be coming up to a low ridge line, and it's going to be coming down 2 or 3 feet this way. This traps the heat coming in. It makes it circle around like this, like I'm in a rotisserie or something. I want the wind coming from this direction or that direction. I do not want the wind coming from my back or from that side, because you form a draft and the smoke does this. I don't want the smoke, I want the heat. So I want the wind flowing through, across the front, either way of my camp. So now I've got the heat, I've got the insulation, and I've got everything I need covered. You want to go 1 step higher, take an emergency space blanket and lace it through those grommets on the hammock, on the poncho liner, and put that hanging on the outside of this. Now I've got a thermal barrier as well. It'll sweat you out. So now as my body heats and it goes through the hammock, it's trapped in these double layers. That heat then radiates right back to me because it spreads out from my kidneys and my lower back. I carry a Megaline canteen. It'll take boiling water. It's bad, bone-chilling cold. The last thing I do at night is fill it full of boiling water. That goes between my legs of the hot water bottle. I'll be good till in the morning. Any questions? Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you.